Hi, I'm Phyllis from I Sew in the Doll Corner, and welcome back to my channel. And today I have I have an idea for anybody going off to school in a dorm that doesn't have a lot of room, and they need a laundry bag or a laundry hamper. Well, if you make a laundry bag, and this serves two or three purposes, this one. And I'll show you some of the other purposes for it as we go along. But this is the bottom part of a shirt. Now, the longer the shirt, the better. I like to use tall shirts, men's tall shirts. And if you can find a 3XL, that would be great, tall. But a smaller one will work as well. Now you can use fabric, or you can go and buy a new shirt if you don't have one that's outdated at home and that you don't, it's not being worn. You can recycle it, but it gives you, I use the front of it as to get into put your laundry in. And then I cut it off just at the arm holes, straight across. But if you wanted it a little longer, you could go up and just, you'd have to angle your seam a little bit, because you'd have to sew that seam. But if you leave it under the arm, then you've got your seam already sewn. My granddaughter is starting off to university this fall, and she was complaining. She says, I don't know where to put my clothes hamper because there's not much room in my dorm. And her father said, well, take one of my shirts, sew it across the bottom, and you've got a laundry bag, and hang it on a hanger. She thought he was kind of, okay. Well, she was telling me this story, and I said, well, I made a laundry bag out of a doll not too long ago. You look at my video, and it's 164. And so I sent her the doll. She hasn't got it yet, but I don't know whether she'll use it, but I think it's a great idea. And how I held it up, I put a little ring like this and attached it to the back of the head. But another purpose for this is you can use a softie. Any of your stuffed toys, if you got a favorite stuffed toy and you don't want to leave it behind, make the dress to fit it, and then you've got it along with you. So if you go to video number of mine, 131 and 134, and that will show you how to fit a doll's dress, make the top of the doll's dress, and fit it to any size teddy bear or doll or whatever you want to take with you. And you just take it apart like this, put some Velcro on, and you got your little teddy bear with you. And you can, if you're having a bad day, you can take her and give her a few hugs or fall asleep with her at night. She's there. And this is the little dress I made. And this is where you put your dirty things in. Now, this goes in. You have a board that just, how I sewed it across the bottom was I cut it off straight and then sewed it straight across here. And I sewed it straight across here and didn't cut my threads off. And you can cut this off or tack it down, whichever you prefer. But that's how to make the square corners on each side. So that's, and then you just put this in to hold it separated. Now you can cover that piece of cardboard with a piece of fabric from the sleeves of your shirt, and you can just slip it off and wash it. And then you make the little bodice. And as I said, if you go to these other two videos of mine, 131 and 134, it will show you how I made the top and the little sleeves. And I got some more threads here. And then I had to partially cut it down the back so that I could get my doll in, or my teddy bear, and just finish the seam off and attach it. Some hook and loop tape or hooks and eyes or buttons, whatever you prefer. And then I gave her a little belt. But that's how you make an easy little laundry bag. But if you have a guy going off to school and he needs a laundry bag, get the biggest shirt you can find. Preferably short sleeves, but not necessarily. And just sew it along here, and you can leave the short sleeve on it. Take a hanger and hang it up, but you have to cut the bottom off. Cut the bottom off straight, and then put your straight corners like I showed you on my other one here. And that's all it's to making a laundry bag for my man's shirt. And I found when my kids were little, I made a bunch of these shirts up so that they could put their laundry in that. And or you can make it as a pajama bag too. So it's just a fun way of using up an old shirt. You could buy a new one, but you could recycle a shirt. I'm sure your son maybe has an old shirt that he's not going to take to school any longer. You could hang it in the closet. I made out of the shirts from the 70s, so they were wild shirts, and they were fun prints in them. So be sure and subscribe, touch the bell to be notified, and check out my Etsy shop for my doll patterns. But as I said, there's a pattern, I made one up. If you go to video 164, that'll show you the one that I started with a rag doll. It was a pattern from the early 60s, I think, that I had never used, but I had bought one time. But I found I didn't have much time back then, so I made old shirts, and it worked well. Did the same thing, but weren't as pretty. Then go to video 131, and that will show you how to fit a pattern to your doll or your teddy bear. And 134. So 134 and 131 and 164. And that will give you a good idea on how I've made it. So there's my teddy, little mouse that I made a while ago. I have a video on that one. And then this is my little dress. Now, if you were afraid your teddy bear might get soiled, you could always put a plastic bag or attach it with an elastic over the bottom part of her. See, I slip her down through the opening in the back. And there. And there she is. Thanks for watching. Bye now.